special guest today, very special guest. Third time maybe, fourth time?
Second time.
Second time.
Third time, yeah, you're right.
I think you
So to
were
the
in
breakfast show, yeah.
and you came to the old.
Yeah, the old studio. Yeah.
So our special guest is Sophie from Sushi Ninja, and we'll talk about Japanese food, but we'll also talk about a special day in the next weekend.
Yes.
And I just would like to reflect on what an amazing day it's been on the most. Actually started yesterday with Richie and Pete reflecting on their experiences of WOMAD, and then right through the day with the various hosts, and just bringing back so many memories. My reflection of WOMAD, I've been to actually all of them except 2005 when I was overseas. And I've usually worked, I've worked in a range of roles. I've been an MC, I've picked up rubbish, I've hosted the Taste the World stage, I've done lots of roles there and loved that, and squeezed in quite a bit of time to watch acts as well. And my reflection is that I live across the road from the bowl, so I know it well. I've run and walked through there a million times, but when I walk down the road on a Friday night, it just looks like a different place. It's like you've stepped out of your neighbourhood into a foreign place, and it's just so alive. Are you a WOMAD fan, Sophie?
Yes, I am, and I was just, as you said, 2005, is that the very first one?
No, that was the second one, I think.
We went to the very first one.
2003.
We hadn't fully moved to New Plymouth as yet, but we had our food truck at Oakura Beach Camp.
Yes.
And then the very first one just didn't have enough food stalls, and the guy came up to us and said, would you like to put your food stall down? So that's, that was our first WOMAD experience.
I'll just ask Alina to slide your mic a little bit closer to you.
Yeah, can I do that?
So you can do it. And just straight into it. That's it.
Yeah.
So because Sushi Ninja attracted here by the last samurai.
Samurai, yes, that was before Sushi Ninja technically.
Yes.
But yeah, we had a food truck.
That's right.
And we lived in Oakura Beach Camp, and we towed the food truck to the foreshore every day and sold to the New Plymouth Taranaki population plus the samurai guys.
I remember I just had two small children, or my wife had them, but they are mine as well. And so we were right in the middle, right in the thick of it. And all of a sudden, I was walking along the foreshore, and I saw some of the stars from the film. I met Tom Cruise twice, and then I went to WOMAD. It was just so exciting. It was like living in this exotic place where all these amazing things were right on the doorstep.
Yes.
So I have chosen 3 WOMAD songs, because our show is about food, so we're not the full hour of music, but I have heard them, not the actual songs, but the bands already played today, and that suggests to me that they had equal impact on other hosts. So Alabama 3, if you were there, it was the Sunday night, 9 o'clock. Epic, one of my all-time favourite concert experiences. I was right up the front, just right into it. And I didn't really know much about them, but they were just amazing, and they just stole the evening. Pohi Lafarge, and I think Hillary and IB played him. He was just something really new, like Americana with a twist, and exotic looking man to look at as well. And just again, one of the few artists, I only would ever buy 1 or 2 CDs, and I bought his one that year. And then the correspondents, well, need I say more? They've been there twice, both times just phenomenal. The dancing, the presentation, the music. If you weren't impressed by that, you probably should have been at the beach. They were incredible. So I think Alina's been fiddling around with some tech, but you're here now, maybe?
Yes, I am.
Very good.
I definitely am. So shall I say the intro for the show?
Absolutely.
As I love to do.
I've just been padding it out, so go for it.
Welcome to Taranaki Foodies, the tastiest food show on 100.4 FM. It is an amazing to have our sponsor, sold by Millennium Hotels, on our side, and it's also quite an amazing guest in the studio. I'm super excited about her. Sophie Kurota, she is the star, she is the challenger of status quo, she's the person who revolutionized a lot of things in Taranaki, and she is also one of the organizers of Japan Day 2026. So, and she's also the owner of Sushi Ninja, and I'm sure that everyone who lives in Taranaki at least heard about it, and I hope each of you visited her as well.
Thank you. Lovely.
Sushi Ninja is epic yakitori style restaurant with wonderful food and great drinks, great service, and you do feel like you're in Japan.
Yeah, it's very, very authentic. I mean, little flags that you have, little old items that you collected through your life in Japan and travels. Although you're not 100% Japanese, but you give Japanese vibes, right? So
I am 50% Japanese.
okay.
My mother's from Tokyo, and my father he's passed away, but he Kiwi European. Yeah.
Interesting.
And your husband is from which prefecture?
He's full Japanese, and he is from Yamagata Prefecture. Well, heaps of snow. Not well known, so it's a good place to go if you don't want the crowds.
What island is that?
Main island, the Honshu, but northern part. So yeah.
So Ken, great sense of humour, great chef, lovely man.
You can't survive being a chef without a sense of humor, right? You have to have some. But also for those who are not listening to us on the radio but follow us on social media, please pay attention and what Sophie is wearing today. So she's wearing a very interesting colored, it's kind of a pink, pink lilac, and also here as well.
On purpose.
So please check our Instagram page, which are going to be live on Wednesday next week. And those who are on our Facebook group, just pay attention at how she kind of, her personality is showing, is not only at what she's doing, but also what she's saying, what she's fighting for, and how she's dressed.
Shall we play a song and then we'll come back and we'll talk to Sophie about next weekend?
Good point, Warwick.
Alright, so as I said, Alabama 3, incredible, no critics, I don't think of them that night, and I've chosen a song called Mao Zedong Said. You're listening to the Foodie Show on the Most FM.
The only reason that I didn't insist on my songs is because my choice of songs are so epically wrong for average person. But I did have my favorites during WOMAD. So
tell me when I'll put it in, because these are all a bit mainstream.
I really liked this ska style because that's how I discovered the
I did
ska
too,
actually through the WOMAD. And
Specials,
also,
you mean?
yeah, and also I really liked our Ukrainian band that came twice, Daha Braha.
Okay, we'll do that. How do you spell?
Dakha. KHA. Yeah, and Braha. Somehow you can see it. So they came twice. The second time I was so upset about the war that I actually couldn't really comprehend properly. And I did something that a lot of people frowned upon. I brought a Ukrainian flag, and I could see that the organizers didn't like me doing that. Yes, so I think after that they invented a rule that there shouldn't be any flags or any kind of a...
Yes, they did. That is apolitical.
Yeah, so that's the reason it's me. Hello, Mikari.
Hi.
Any particular album?
Well, I like their song which is called Spring, but it's probably too long for our ear, simply because they use a lot of folk instruments that sounds like birds singing, but they actually are not birds singing.
Should I just choose a random name?
Those are, yeah.
Lado, 4 minutes later.
Okay. Yes, sounds good. And I mean, world is getting so much involved now. You're listening more of the international news now, and obviously news from Ukraine very often. It's the first few minutes on any news program.
Pull it over go. So when did they last come? 5 years ago?
It was before the war, I think probably 6 years ago, maybe, and then after the war started. But I was crying, and I actually wasn't really probably a good person. You should ask my husband about it; he'll tell me more about it. But I just couldn't comprehend. I was really depressed and things like that. There's the air drums. We have an air drummer in the studio.
I thought you could ask about the Taste of the World stage, because I can tell you, well, you've been on it, but I can show you some of the behind the scenes things that happen.
Yes, I'll do this after the music. Well, it's nice for it to be on air, so we wouldn't talk about it when we are off air after we switch off the microphone.
Right. Yeah.
So, have you had any Japanese performers coming to WOMED?
Yes, I remember, because we used to have a stall literally every year since it started, because it was every 2 years at the beginning. And then we just stopped when that sort of COVID, I think that was our last one.
Up the top there?
Eh?
Up the top or down the bottom?
In the Global Village, I think it's called.
Village,
Yeah. But
So it wasn't where the
there
food
was a
area.
Japanese, no, it was in the, one time we had it really off by that gable gallery, but most of it was in that food hub there. I forgot what
Events
it's called.
like that are really good for popularization of different customs, maybe food, traditions, any cultural experiences, because you will have a lot of people visiting, right?
Yeah, and there was definitely a Japanese drama group, and then they came and of course ordered food from us, and I remember taking photos with them, but I don't remember their name unfortunately, but yeah.
Yes, taiko drumming, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Wow, this is
We've
so
got
fascinating.
some
I've heard them on stage, and this was like, I had goosebumps, and it was so amazing. It was almost like it's a real experience.
Yeah. You can really feel the beat.
Yes, and the vibrations from the sound actually get under your skin. You kind of, you feel how your body responds to it, right? It's really interesting how music makes us feel.
There's a
things.
drumming performance that we went to see in a taiko drummer performance in Auckland, and they handed out ear plugs because it's so loud, especially if you're in the front row. But you can still hear it, but it just softens it a bit.
Welcome back to Taranaki Foodies, the tastiest food show on 100.4 FM. It's us, Alina Williams and Warwick Foy, in the studio with the red walls. And today we have an amazing guest. I'm so inspired by her. It's Sophie Kurota from Sushi Ninja, and also she's the organizer of Japan Day in Taranaki, which happens next Saturday. But before going to that, I would like to ask my co-host, he doesn't talk a lot usually, about his experience about being a WOMED MC at the Taste of the World.
I'll split that into two questions because I have been a WOMED MC as well, and I've heard others talk about that today. I actually retired from that and ended up being the WOMED MC organizer because I found that I just had my mind so much on the next act that I was doing that I wasn't really enjoying WOMED as much. I wanted to do a good job, and I was a bit nervous, so I did it for about 5 years, and then I thought I'll leave it to the pros like Warren Smart, Graham Donlan, Hillary, all the others who Weta, who did such a great job for Alan Day. I won't leave anyone out, but
there's so many of our broadcasters who are present there, help to enhance the presence.
So I would talk to the artist and just make sure what I had planned to say was okay with them. Check the pronunciation of their names. TAF tells you what to do and how to do it. The stage management is extremely tight, so there's a clock on the wall, and when the second hand gets to the hour, that's it. If they haven't wrapped up, that's it. It runs.
Everything is switched
the
off.
time. Yeah, so it's very slick. So before you know it, the stage manager hands you the mic, and you run up the stairs, and you're like, oh no, here we go. But of course, like anything, you build up confidence. And I made one mistake, or maybe more than one, but one bad mistake when I mispronounced an artist's name, even though I practice. I think it was. No, I don't know. I won't say because I don't know, but.
Don't want to make it the second time.
As the drummer came on, he not shouted, but spoke quite loudly to me. It's pronounced like this. So my confidence was shot for that act, and that was on the gable stage. So a lot of people heard me say it wrong. But anyway, so then I got the gig for the Taste of the World, and I was so honoured to be asked because it wrapped up two of my passions, which is food, cooking, and music in one place, and it's a really fun stage. It's the stage where people can sit under the shade. And the first guest that I had was someone that I knew called Alina Williams on the Friday night.
Experience.
So that was great because I actually wasn't that nervous because it felt more of a native space to me or familiar space to me, but I was a little bit nervous. And so Alina was not nervous. I don't think.
There was a bit of a drama going on because I'm a person of one task. I can't do two things. Like they say that females can do several things. I can do only one thing. So I cannot talk and do something else. So when I was cooking, I just couldn't speak, and because I was required to speak, I actually couldn't cook. And I was kind of relying on my helpers. And because I was the very first one there, I don't think that they were warmed enough to do these things, but it went really well. Instead of having 12 dumplings for each person, we had like 1 or 2, and it was fine because it was only for tasting. So potentially it could have been better, and I could have prepared better for it, but it wasn't bad.
First time.
First time.
And what we learned, the crowd was not huge, and I learned that over the weekend people will go to music first, and then when they get a bit tireder, they'll come to the sit-down stages up the top there. So the latter acts that we had were pretty crowded. Without giving away any secrets, I did want to explain that that stage is a whole lot going on that you can't see, and that in my time was run by Jo, a person called Jo, who was fantastic.
She's amazing.
She would have everything organised, and this goes on weeks ahead of time, so all the ingredients, the strange ingredients that the musicians have asked for, and then she would sort of cook the bits that they weren't cooking, because some of them didn't really do much cooking because they're entertainers and they might play their instrument or whatever, or sing impromptu. So she's just waiting there, ready to fill in if needed. Other times the artist does everything. And, so we just never know. So she did. I remember she said to me, "We're late. We've got to get them going." And so it's quite a lot of management that happens up there, but it's a heap of fun.
Excuse me, Warwick. I would like to return back to Sophie. Is that all right?
Yes, I just have one more thing to tell you. It's one of the groups up there, Irish, and they had access to the fridge, and I just remember they pulled out 3 beers, Stella and a Guinness and something else, and one of them said, Irish breakfast, English breakfast, Scottish breakfast. It was
I can still remember them on the stage. This was so funny.
Right, back to Sophie. So we haven't actually said what's happening next weekend, so tell us.
Tell you. Okay, so 21st of March, Saturday, at Bell Block Hall, 11 to 4, there's going to be a full fun day, a festival, if you like, of all things Japanese. So we're showcasing Japanese culture, there's cultural displays, there's food, lots of food stalls, retail stalls, and live entertainment. So we've got something going on all day. And like you said, I need someone to be able to push the people up. No, but I'm doing all that, so hopefully I'll get it right. It's my first time, so
where did the idea come from?
The idea, well, 2 things. We did a small version of it within our shop a good 10, 15 years ago. So I always loved it. I'm proud of our heritage, so I want to showcase that. And also just recently, there's a lot more Japanese living here in Taranaki. We did half of them I haven't even met unless they've come to our shop. And I knew there's lots of kids as well. So having to be, we all get homesick sometimes, right? So it's kind of nice to have a festival that you would do over there, but here, So bringing a little Japan to Taranaki. And the second reason would be the amount of people that I know that have gone there recently to Japan. Or planning to go is so much popular now. I think it's it's the money. I think it's a lot cheaper to go there now, right? The New Zealand dollar is a lot stronger than the Japanese yen, so you can go there and spend up large without feeling a dent too much.
One flight.
One flight, I think, and also just more people going and knowing and learning about the culture, and I guess also technology helps, right? You don't need to learn the language now, you've got Google Translate, maybe. And of course, Instagram and social media always helps with seeing these beautiful sceneries and temples and
unlike Europe, where anyone under 50 speaks brilliant English, the Japanese don't so much, do they?
No.
Why is that?
Without getting too political, but I think the things might have changed since I was living there last, but the education, although it's compulsory to learn English from, I think, 8 middle school upwards, but it's all very exam-based rather than conversational. And like my own husband, he grew up hating the language because it was just all textbook. I think that's a lot to do with it. But nowadays they do hire native speakers to be assistant teachers to get the pronunciation and all that.
Yeah, they have the JET program, which my brother did for nearly 20 years, and his role as a Kiwi was to speak conversational English, but having been in Japanese classrooms, it's very structured and rigid, the learning and teaching style. So to have that person there is almost in conflict with what the students are used to, the way they're used to learning.
I think that might make a good balance in that way. Yeah.
It's such a fascinating culture, very bright culture, lots of bright things happening there. I like modern trends that come from Japan, as I told you earlier, just squishy, baked goods there. It's just like, I watch them every day, I'm obsessed. And I'm afraid to try them because I'm afraid that I wouldn't like them. I'll stop watching them.
Right.
So tell us who are your vendors.
We have a whole bunch. I had to bring a list so I don't leave anyone out. We've got Chur Chicken, who's famous for their food truck that they park up at Ohakura and sometimes in front of Spotswood College. They do karaage chicken. And he also does shaved ice, which is a very festival food, basically shaved ice with lots of different flavours for dessert. We've got ramen, of course, from Sushi Ninja and tap beer, Asahi, so perfect combo. We've got sushi, fresh sushi from Reef Sushi. And we've got curry and yakisoba from Kokozo. And then we've got all these, the local Japanese community that have come out to make raw sweets from Mio Malibu and little character-shaped little desserts from Mon Amour, and Mana, who makes her own homemade organic miso.
Wow.
So you can buy miso to take home to make, and she's also going to have miso served there as well. We've got Eriko-san with sakura mochi, which is, again, it's a very traditional, very rare to buy in New Zealand in general, I think. So you've got all the stuff, and we've got matcha powder from Yamada Chaya, excuse me. And of course you can experience the tea ceremony, which is also another very rare thing, from Rumi's stall. And then we've got kids' favorite ramune soda and melon soda from Ari and Kiko's drink stall.
Wow, so many
quite
unusual
a
things. Like,
variety.
you can't really go at one place and see it
I think you
unless
have to
it's
try all of them.
you have to try all
Pretty
of them.
much,
I got bad news for you, Sophie. So you were so supportive of my ramen campaign, and
Yes.
you laid on. Last time I was there, I think I counted 12 different kinds of ramen. So you just went to town, and I was so delighted. But now I've got a new campaign.
Have you? What
It's
is
called
this?
Okonomiyaki.
Oh yeah, I know. I was talking to Yuka the other day.
Yes,
and
she was
told me that
promoting
she
the
took
Japan Day.
Okonomiyaki, and I said, "Did Warwick make you
Yeah.
say that you're going to start an okonomiyaki shop?" And it's the
I
right-
feel like it's a much easier thing to make because ramen has the bone boiling process for so long. But I'm not a chef, I don't know.
Yeah, it is pretty easy. It's the batter and the sauce, really. In Japan, they often do like you do your DIY situation where you can grill it yourself at the tables.
Hiroshi
And it's
ramen.
gluten free
Yeah,
because it's made of rice, right?
No, it's flour
It's
based.
flour,
Yeah.
The
But then
flour's
they
the
have
better.
this one called monjayaki, which is like an okonomiyaki deconstructed.
Oh.
So it's all gooey and
Oh, wow.
porridgey looking, but you do the same thing, same sort of flavors, savory. And you
Is
can get
that-
cheese
It
ones.
actually makes me salivating, the gooey imagination type of thing.
Is that a regional variation, or can you find that everywhere?
Okonomiyaki,
The
the monjayaki.
deconstructed.
The monjayaki is a Tokyo thing.
Ah,
And there's a monjayaki dori road just specifically selling
love it.
lots of stalls, shops selling okonomiyaki. Monjayaki. But okonomiyaki has regional. So you have okonomiyaki, I don't know which one you can made, but often it's got like pork in it or whatever. But there's ones with yakisoba in it. That's an Osaka thing, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they also have
Hers
different
was,
variations.
I think, I looked it up when she
Osaka
was here. Yeah, bacon.
Bacon, yeah.
And sometimes you have the egg omelette over the top, but she
Yeah.
didn't have that.
They're all sort of
What
different.
is the trendiest food now that are very popular in Japan?
Actually, have a guess what surpassed sushi?
I don't know.
Ramen.
Yes!
He
Yes!
just work travels all over the world and
Yes.
brings his trends with him.
And he's probably like, I already knew that. That should have been top one from the beginning, eh?
Ah, that's
Yes,
Yeah,
that's how I
for
got
tourists,
hooked.
it's
I didn't really try ramen before you
Yeah.
started it, so yeah.
I have noticed because how many sushi shops are there in Japan? There's a few. maybe
Yeah,
7
it's
or 8.
probably 10.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, and I, of course, Sushi Ninja and the Reef are my favourites because I know the owners.
Yes.
But I try to share the love, and sometimes I've seen that they're adding bowls to their menus. So it might be don bowls or ramen or udon, whatever. But
Yes.
they're starting to come into the mix here, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not a standard kind of average owner of the sushi shop, right? You have so much things to offer. You have organizational, managerial talents. You organized a lot of events.
Yes.
How do you see yourself? Who is Sophie Kurota?
That's deep. Is this a counseling session? No, actually, everybody asks me, right, because I'm actually kind of organising this event. Other than on the day, of course, the community have come out to help, but I'm kind of organising this on my own. Ken's my wingman, or I just vent, basically. But everyone goes, God, isn't that stressful, Sophie? Are you okay? And I'm like, actually, I kind of like it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like organising things.
You're always busy.
Yeah.
This is something part of you, and I'm the
think
same
so.
because my husband helps me a lot. My son used to help me, and if I can rely on people who are around me,
Yeah.
so much easier than you actually employ someone.
Yes.
Because I mean, there are lots of excuses that
I
people
originally
can pull.
thought, should I get a little committee? And I'm like, no, it's the first one. Let me just do it, see how it all pans out. Because you don't want to have to go to a committee every little decision, right? It needs to be. So I'm a bit business-like in that sense, even though it's a community event. But it has to be, right? You've got to get. I only had 2 months to plan it, so it had to happen. So
Is it gold coin?
it's $2 a ticket, and under
Which is
5
wise.
is free. Yeah, we just want to make sure we can pay for the venue and costs involved. This is
Just remind us where the venue is, Sophie.
Bell Block Hall, right next to the main shops there.
And people don't value what they get for free, absolutely. And I think even small amount is actually better than no pay at all.
Do we charge Sophie to be on this show then?
Well, I don't know. If it's not $1 million, I should probably can afford it.
So I've been to your shop, seen the sushi eating competitions,
Yes.
other fun things that you've done,
Yeah.
and you're always at the centre of that. You've usually got
Yes.
the microphone, and
Yes.
you're in charge because
Yeah.
you're very good at that. So next weekend should be a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm just blown away. So as I said, I had this little idea of doing a Japan Day. Never did I think it was going to be this big though. I just thought, I would just do it locally, get my daughter to do a dance, get my mum to do ikebana, like just do it small and compact. But then the more people I talk to, the more, and there's so many Japanese people out there with such creative people making lots of jewelry and all that sort of thing. So then it's like, oh, I've got more stores. Oh no. And then literally within the first month when I started, the place had sold out with stores. It was
Amazing.
And thank you for taking me on board. I'm not
Yes.
Japanese,
Yeah.
but I was probably too invasively, curiously kind of pushing.
Are you going to
no.
sing for us?
Sing, you wish. You will never talk to me after that. I'm going to sell some teas, and today, for those who are watching us on YouTube or maybe later on Instagram and on Facebook group, you can see that I'm wearing a silk kimono that I bought second-hand one from one of our local personalities. Her name is
Teresa Gooden.
yes, Teresa Gooding.
She's got vintage
Yes.
kimonos.
Yes, and it's silk, it's so comfortable. I look so impressive and important in it. I'm going to sell some teas in packages, and they're not Japanese teas as such, but for me this is an opportunity to honor my long-term life dream about going to Japan since I was 15. I want to.
You're going, aren't you?
Not yet.
Oh.
If I sell enough teas, I might have enough teas, but probably not. But I would like to visit one of the small gardens, which is actually like a sand pool with 15 different stones, and from any point of where you look, you can see all 15 stones. So for me, this is an epitome of considering that there is always something unknown, and there is a beauty in unknown, and you can always ask questions.
And it's the Zen, isn't it?
Yes, one of the Zen gardens.
Mm.
I have a miniature one at home.
Oh,
I
cute.
just-
When you need to do that.
Yes,
raking
yes,
thing,
yes,
yeah.
I call it combing it, like comb your hair, and sometimes I hide something underneath, but kids that come to our house always find it.
Yeah.
There's a torii gate in my street.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
In your street?
Yeah. At the front of the person's property.
Oh, that's cool.
And some fish. I was going to say something I said on the show before, but going back to the popularity of Japan Day,
Yes.
is what I believe is I've been through Southeast Asia and I love it. I'm not being critical, but it does tend to blend a little bit in cultures, foods, landscape. Japan, on the other hand, is completely unique. There's
Yes.
nothing like it in the whole
That's
rest of the
right.
world, the culture,
Yeah.
the language, the food.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's so interesting and popular.
I'm feeling really good vibes. So many people I've talked to are all saying we've marked on the calendar, we will be there. We're going to Japan in April, so it'll be perfect pre-Japan, blah blah blah. And yeah, and hopefully if it's successful enough, we might do it every 2 years.
Wow, awesome.
You could alternate with WOMAD.
Alternate. But I mean, I know so many projects that were killed by introducing committee, because suddenly you have to run all your decisions through the group of people that might have their own agenda. So much easier to have someone who is active enough and has some sense of, yes, sense of.
We are on the wire. You are listening to the WOMAD on the Wireless today, McFoodie's segment of that, and the Mad Media Times 4:33 here on the Most. We play our second song. This is Pokey Lafarge. Referenced him at the start of the show. He's a unique appearance, almost a unique sound. Had the audience in the palm of his hand. Did you see him?
I think I did. Remind me. Let's listen together for a while.
Listen. So I've chosen a song called Fine to Me, and as I said, it's a unique style and genre. Look at it, surrounded by parakeets and exotic birds.
Yes, I think yes. It was one of the latest WOMADs, right?
I think he's been twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this mannerism and
Yeah.
kind of a flamboyant personality.
Flamboyant, yeah. And also multi-instrumentalist
Yeah.
with quite an unusual voice too.
I have an interesting story about another reason why this Japan Day started it all. That was the general explanation, but there's mochitsuki. So to make mochi, you could pound it in this thing called a usu and a kine. And do you know Mr. Iwata? He's the tea house. Yeah. Anyway, he bought this usu 10 years ago or something, because back in the day, the Japanese community didn't have one of those, and they wanted to do it at a get-together, a picnic or something. And Reiko Smithers had to drive all the way down to the Wellington embassy to borrow one and drive it all the way back. So he felt badly for us, for the community. So he bought a genuine, good wooden timber one. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but yeah, probably 100 kg sort of big thing. And it's stuck in his garage and never got used.
Oh my gosh!
So then when we went to Japan last year in November, we went to Mishima for one night. Met up with Iwata-san, who really looked after us, great hospitality, and then he was talking about the usu, and I said, maybe I'll find a way to use that, and then this Japan idea sort of exploded after that.
It's
so we're using
interesting
it.
how a kind of a skill, arts and crafts can. Your mother is going to have this ikebana session.
No, she's chickened out.
Because I would like to attend that. I studied this from books when I was little, when I had my fascination with Japan, and I kind of know the principle of three, how to do it, but I never really practiced, so it would be nice to have it with someone. Maybe she can give me a private class.
Maybe. She was all for it at the beginning, but then when, I don't know, she's like, there's not many flowers now, and
Oh, you don't
she's
really
85,
need
and,
much
she just,
flowers.
Yeah, I said, well, you could always set it up, have it displayed the night before, and not worry about it.
I was thinking of using some of this water lilies from the Pukekura Park, because you can make a water-based basing. The hardest part I actually found is the pottery for it, because it has to be
and the little flat things that, she's got all those.
Is the tea house still around?
Yes.
Is it open?
Just that during this Taranaki Garden Festivals, when they open it up and they take bookings for tea ceremonies and things.
And Rumi is always doing it.
Helping out, yeah.
I've got it. Can I open with a question? So
Of course.
It's came to my head. It's not a hard question.
so nice to have this homemade playlist. Brings lots of memories. The whole station, I mean, we have 50 broadcasters. Everyone did something.
Yeah.
Spread it through their social media. So.
Yeah. I'm glad it's back.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have that little.
It's actually a feature of Taranaki, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a lot of people from out, 75%. Welcome back to Taranaki Foodies, proudly sponsored by Salt Restaurant of Millennium Hotels. And it's us, Alina Williams and Warwick Foy, in the studio with the red walls. And today we had an amazing guest in the studio, Sophie Kurota, the organizer of Taranaki Japan Day and also the owner of Sushi Ninja. And Warwick has a burning question he would like to ask her. Go on, Warwick.
The burning question is, you're wearing, as described before, lilac clothing and gear. And I thought, is this something linked to Sakura, the cherry blossom festival which is coming up, that you've timed Japan Day in a celebratory period of Japanese culture? You might say no.
No. This is called a happy coat. And I don't mean Happy, I mean Happi. And they're used, you see?
Right.
It says Matsuri on the back, which means festival, and they're worn on during the summer festivals, if anything. They come in all different colours. Each city or district that has their own specific unique festival will have their personalised one, which would say, I don't know, Yamagata or Shinjo or whatever on it. And yeah, this is my favourite colour.
What is
And
the
so-
red symbol
This
on the back?
Matsuri.
And what-
Matsuri, which means festival.
Ah.
Cheer.
Ah. And let's talk about my kimono. A lot of people told me different things about it. Some people say that it sounds like a water drop. Some people say that it's like a wooden structure, like structure of wood. But for me, this is kind of a landscape.
Fingerprints.
Yeah, that's
Fingerprints.
right.
Oh, this is another version. But for me, it's like a landscape. You know, when you look at the landmarks from the mapping point of view, that's what it looks like. And
It's unusual.
it's very beautiful burgundy color with something, and the feeling of silk is so rich.
We have a dress-ups area for the. We've got a dedicated kids zone in Japan Day, and there's dress-ups there with kimonos and happy coats and little ninja suits, not just for kids but adults as well. So families could take, and we have a photo booth, so the families could dress up and take photos.
Are we weather dependent here? Or?
No, because it's all indoors,
Right.
except for what one food stall creates smoke, so we had to have them outside. But generally, all 99% of it's inside.
And our guest that came 2 weeks ago, I think, Yuka Kobayashi,
Yes.
is going to have a performance with her Iaido group,
Yes.
which is so graceful art of taking the sword out of a sheath.
Yes.
Only Japanese can make it into art.
Yes, yes. We've got quite a few different martial art demos. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it'll be good.
Cool. We have 2 songs to get through, so I suggest we play them back to back, and then we'll come back and wrap up with Sophie, and then it will be moments of happiness. As said before, the correspondence, I chose that one because they were so epic, and then you've chosen one from your home country, Alina. Tell us about that.
So this song called Lado is from the band called Daha Braha. They came twice, and originally I didn't know about them, but apparently they had a huge international following. So I didn't knew them, I didn't think much of them, and then I saw them on a stage, and oh my gosh, I cried, I laughed, I felt shivers, I felt happy, and I felt sad that I was so kind of oblivion to the existence and things like that. And Daha Braha is an amazing message of Ukrainian people, message of resistance, message of beauty of our culture. So
Cool. We'll play those 2 tracks, The Well Measured Vice by The Correspondence and Lado by, pronounce please,
Daha Braha.
Daha Braha. And then it will be Moments of Happiness with Michael Donaldson. Stay tuned. Oh, that's the wrong one, Olivia.
you should tell me how long do I supposed to speak, because I wasn't sure.